nerds, and welcome to The League, exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
Today we're talking about the fallen desert empire, Shurima. The big desert area.
Big desert area.
The big one, yeah.
Which
so
we've
big, other
obviously
regions.
talked about a lot, but it was kind of nice to read about Shurima in a way that I wasn't thinking about Azir. And I was reading like the wiki, all the information they have, and I'm like, wow, we don't really talk about Azir very much in this. Actually, it's kind of nice.
Even when maybe it felt like it was relevant. Like, I was reading through the history. There was nothing about the destruction of Shurima in the history.
Kind of. It's just very vague. They're like, the king's friend betrayed him.
Rebecca, did you go and edit the wiki and remove Azir from the history section?
Oh, you got
You can tell us if you did.
Womp womp.
She said, "What notes? I'm not taking shit." You actually took negative notes this time. You actually removed something.
Removed notes from the wiki because fuck Azir.
Yeah, I had that exact same stumble because I was trying to place when Acathia happened. I was trying to figure out what was the timing, and then Azir's not in here. I kind of assume this is just later. Or Azir is just later. I don't know.
Yeah, I felt like Azir was later for sure. Like Void stuff had already happened.
Yeah.
Well,
I figured with Shurima, I mean, John, do you have like a single word funny summary you want to throw at us?
I tried to think of it. Was something that I put a little time at the beginning, and then I was like, you know what, there's a lot of notes I got to get through. Let me come back to it. Totally forgot to come back to it. So we're just gonna go I hate it. It gets everywhere.
I like you.
It's rough course and it gets everywhere. Shurima.
Yeah, it does kind of get everywhere. You know what? That's actually pretty.
That's really good. John, that was flawless.
Thanks.
He said he didn't spend. He spent 4 hours prepping that. He sandbagged it.
Hey.
Yeah, I figured with Shurima we would just talk through the history, and that would be the episode probably.
Kind of, right? And then kind of our feelings
like very
on
old.
it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's very old.
Some,
it's got such a long.
I know. Yeah, I feel like most of what we know about it is the history of it, and then like the today stuff is like, well, there's some Void guys now, and now Azir's back, kind of, and Xerath. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, quick. I mean, you kind of nailed it when you in the intro, but what's like the very quick summary? Someone who doesn't know what a Shurima is.
Sure.
It is.
So I have a little, I've got the little official Shurima blurb here.
Okay.
So
the blurb probably do it, yeah.
Shurima was once a powerful empire that spanned the farthest reaches of the vast southern continent. After an era of expansion and prosperity, its last emperor was betrayed by his closest friend, and the empire fell to ruin. Its gleaming capital was destroyed in an earth-shaking cataclysm, and the empire was left in ruins, its people scattered, and its mighty cities devoured by the sand. Now, Shurima is a barren wasteland, an unforgiving desert where only the strongest survive, and its people cling to the few remaining oases and strips of fertile land across the coast. Big old desert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of steeped in the shadow. Yep, that's pretty it. It seems like a fun adventuring space, I'll say right now. It's like, it's a
lot of
classic,
ruins,
right? You got a bunch of ruins with hidden monsters and big open tracts of wilderness.
Yeah. Yeah, where you can find like most people on the kind of like any desert, right? Where you find most people on the coast, and then you find very little out in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's very dangerous.
So history, I guess I figure we just dive in. The earliest thing I had in my notes was for like Targon and the sun.
Yeah, I think that's really the first like pivotal thing that happens in Shurima.
Right,
is
Sun Disc.
Yeah,
part one.
Yeah, we don't know the state of it before then. I kind of assumed they were just one of many nations in this area. So that's track with y'all. It's just like, well, I don't know why Shurima got picked. Maybe they were the strongest at the time still, but for some reason Targon decided that they were going to take the knowledge around like aspects. Which, if you don't know what we're talking about, go listen to the Targon episode that we recorded. It'll explain a little bit. And they used it, and they sort of like, do they work with Shurima, or do they just kind of bestow upon them the knowledge on how to take that power and imbue it into normal
I don't think
mortal
it's
beings.
specified.
Yeah, I would assume they worked with. Although, if they just gave them the knowledge and was like, good luck, it would explain why the first sun disk never got off the ground.
Yeah. Sun disk is a huge thing for Shurima. Yeah, right. Do you think... So what is the sun disk, right? You said, what is it? It's a big disk.
It is a big magical disc that like focuses the powers of the sun specifically to enhance, normal everyday folks. I guess not normal everyday folks. You kind of got to be a little special with celestial powers, creating what we now know as the Ascended in Shurima.
And an Ascended, an example would be like Nasus, Renekton,
Azir.
Those are like our two main ones, I suppose. Azir now, yeah, I suppose that's true.
Yeah. They kind of become animal-like. They have godlike powers. They're very strong. They don't seem to die, really. Xerath is also kind of an Ascended, like twisted one, I guess. Yeah.
He's kind of like a Bakai, I think, at this point, probably, right?
Who knows? That's a hard thing to answer because I think that's mostly an invention of Legends of Runeterra. But
they do mention it in the wiki. The Bakai get mentioned a little bit. These are different from aspects, though. Again, which we don't really know the difference or why there's a difference. Well, we know the difference. Aspects are like inhabited by, a god, but
some celestial ideal or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Bakai. Maybe we can tap on that later on down when we're like in something a little more modern. Because I think some of that got folded into Casante's lore. I think some of that has been kind of revivified there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, right. So they've got these powerful fuck off Ascended. They call them like God Warriors. I think is kind of a moniker I remember being bandied about a lot. And they conquer everything around them. They, like you said, they control the whole empire, like the whole southern continent at that point.
Yeah, after they got an actual functional sun disk going, because the first one didn't work that well.
Yeah, and then they asked for help from Ishtal. Yes.
Yeah, who had real good mages.
I'm curious why this happened. Like, why did the first sun disk fail, and then they asked for help from somebody else? I guess narratively, what did this bring to the table?
It's a good question because it's a weird detail.
Yeah, because it never comes back.
We don't know much about it.
The failed sun disk. That would be amazing if it did. If the failed sun disk. Oh, that's just a great name for it. Even
season 6 of Arcane is we're gonna finally learn about this first sun disk.
It could just be that, right? It could just be an arrow in the quiver for like if we ever want to do more storytelling with Shurima, we've got this this vile sun disk or whatever failed, just kind of floating out there, right? I'm trying to think. There's gotta be something that's a little like something there,
a little punchier.
I don't know. Failed is fine, right? But yeah, and then this connection with Ishtal, right? The broken sun, the shattered, the scoured sun, something like that. I don't know. Like,
the sun discontinued.
The Solari are going to burst in here. That's her biggest fan. Oh, fear. Yeah, that's it. That's the punchy, dark title we were looking for. What I really like, I don't know what I'm trying to do here. Mark's always trying to write, like, some epic fantasy. And John, you're like, now I just want fantasy Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I just want to learn about the Just for Fun disc.
He wasn't even listening to what you said. He was sitting there thinking about other ones.
He had no idea what I said. He was like, what rhymes with sun, fun disc?
He's just waiting. I'm just waiting for her to stop talking so I can drop this banger
That's our relationship right there. I'm waiting for her to stop talking so I can drop in a bad joke.
Bad?
What? Sorry, you're right. Anyway, more on the history of Shurima.
It worked, though, because you're talking about Hitchhiker's Guide. I was listening.
Okay. Yeah. So the next big thing that happens will be the Acathia, right?
So I had
Acathia.
Yeah, right.
I always say in my head
I called it Acathia for all my life. Yeah, and then they gave Jack's voice lines in Legends of Runeterra, and he says Acathia. I was like, well, I got to rewrite my entire memory of this thing.
It's so much bad. It's so much worse. All right, I drink a lot of wine these days. It's really hitting my one glass of wine.
Woo! We're off the rails. Shurima, so at the time, Shurima, a massive empire, controls a bunch of other like former nation states to varying degrees of like autonomy, I guess, where Ishtal maybe was much more of a willing collaborator, whereas you have other places that are completely taken over. It's very like old school Noxus in that way almost.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like,
and they're ascended,
especially with Ishtal, like the fact that they needed their help to build the Sun Disk was probably like a, you have deemed yourself worthy of being collaborator instead of us just owning you now.
It's probably, it's like lacking any sort of that more like not moral, sort of like idealistic stuff that might temper Noxus, where Shurima way more like just simple, straightforward. We just they just rule over everything with an iron imperial fist.
They're the once Noxus, right? They were attempting to be Noxus, I feel like, at one point.
Yeah, I think just without anything to like really keep them from being complete assholes. Anyway, speaking about Acacia, so it comes to a head. So like like you said, the big turning point is when there's a rebellion in the former nation of Acacia, right? And they cast off their local Shuriman like governors and stuff, and they take up arms and they march again to go fight Shurima. And of course, Shurima sends their legions and their ascended to go fight. But Acacia has a special weapon, this weapon that I think like just looking at it causes people to want to like vomit and stuff. Just like looking at the tent that it's in and things like that. And during the battle, as things are becoming dire, they unleash it, and what they unleash is the Void. And I don't know if this is like the first instance of the Void ever showing up on Runeterra, or if this is like just something that gives it real I guess not, because you got Howling Abyss and stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't know when that happened.
Gives it a massive
Freljord,
inroad,
right? Yeah,
yeah, it's true. A lot of Shuriman stuff is like steeped in like 10,000 to 100,000 years ago. Who knows exactly?
Could have been around the same time. Maybe the Void was attempting to.
I know. Yeah, because I think, I don't even know if this is canon anymore necessarily, but I know that when Howling Abyss was first announced, part of Lyssandra's whole speech when the map started was about how she and her sisters were older than the fall of Shurima. So at least they're at least older than Azir, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're older than, Acacia, depending on where that falls in the timeline.
Yeah. But yeah, so the whole city becomes just this massive void portal, right? And both Shuriman and Acacian are all sort of consumed by it, and thus starts this massive sort of continuous war with the void that is waged by the Ascended. Now they are essentially, I guess, broadly victorious in that they're able to stymie most of the void and sort of like seal off many of these void rifts. But it's made clear that the effort to do so takes a very heavy toll mentally on the Ascended, because that's something to kind of call out for Ascended, is even though they're imbued with all these powers and they're immortal and et cetera, they're still human and mentally. And so we see much later when we revisit the Ascended that like the human mind is not really meant to be in this type of position, right? Yeah. And we'll begin to crack eventually, given enough time and stress. I think the next thing that leads us to is Azir, right? The big one, the big chief,
the big and
big dog.
I've called this the betrayal / just desserts.
That's really good.
Just deserts. So Azir's an emperor, or I guess was in line. He's an emperor, right? Azir was the last emperor of Shurima, because Azir had formed a strong friendship with Xerath. Now, Shurima massively relies on slave labor across the whole of the empire, and Xerath was a slave. So you got this prince and this slave who have formed this friendship, and they sort of work together to the point where Azir becomes the emperor, and more Azir is doing things that do not involve freeing the slaves, and Xerath more and more starts to harden in his heart, thinking that he's been kind of betrayed by inaction by Azir, and thus resolves to betray Azir and see Shurima cast down and these people freed. And what he does is he convinces Azir, like, dude, you need to get Ascended. Ascended is where it's at. Ascension 2020.
It's so hot right now.
Ascension Millennium, man. You need to do it, which is it's very sort of against the sort of social conventions of it all. Normally, you kind of like only get get like proffered up to become ascended after committing some great act, and Azir is sort of bullying his way in.
Politics,
and as he's stepping up there to and as he's stepping up there to get ascended, he turns to Xerath and he's like, by the way, all the slaves are free. I'm gonna go step into that ascension. But the die has been cast. Xerath has already kind of fucked up the whole thing, and so when Azir steps into it, he is like consumed by the fire of the sun, and a wave of destructive energy radiates out, destroying the capital. And Xerath himself is converted into kind of steps into Azir's place and becomes, like you said, sort of a kind of ascended. He's like a being of pure energy.
Like energy and rage.
Yeah, energy and rage, but he's still fuck off powerful, and he's eventually trapped. He's trapped by two ascended warriors, Nasus and Renekton. And in the process, Renekton is trapped with Xerath. Two brothers, we'll say. And that is sort of the sort of tipping point for the kind of collapse of the Empire. Really, in spirit, I guess I would say. I get the sense when I think about this of like the Roman Empire kind of falling apart, where there's like still parts, I would imagine, that are like technically Shurima, but what really ends up happening is that all these ascended warriors start to become just kind of like local like warlords, and that's when they kind of make the transition from ascended warriors into Darken, which is a name we see a bunch in Runeterra, where they just become these horrible, monstrous, I don't know. The warlords is the best word I could describe it. They just lead these slave legions, and war gods who just kind of run rampant over the face of the earth, or Runeterra. And that kind of it comes to an end when the aspect of Twilight, under the guise of a person or a girl named Misha, kind of tricks them all, and most of the Darken are either destroyed or trapped within their weapons, with a few kind of scurrying away to hide out, or maybe even just like lost to time. And that kind of, I think, leads us to modern Shurima. I don't know if there was anything else you kind of had between then.
No, that's like the main historical thing that I had.
Yeah. And then there's just many years go by before something massive happens in Shurima again. At this point, it feels like
all thanks to the Black Rose.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers.
And it seems like Shurima has kind of become this, almost like the Freljord. I really feel a lot of comparisons between the two, where it's much smaller groups and colonies of people in this really harsh world.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? It's mostly scavengers, people picking their way, like just kind of carving out a life in a very hard space, right?
Yeah. The Empire is mostly forgotten until it rises once again from the sands.
Yeah. Cass tries to find some
Also,
treasure for the Black Rose, betrays Sivir. Sivir's a descendant of Azir. When her blood falls, Azir comes back and is like, oh shit, my blood!
But she is the last descendant of Azir.
Yeah, and puts her in some holy healing water that was almost dry, but not quite. And revives the long-lost empire of Shurima.
Mm-hmm. And Sivir's okay now.
Yeah.
He put her in the right waters. He didn't he didn't pull a Vagar. Viego. Holy fuck, bro. I'm sorry I did Vagar dirty like that.
Right? I mean, Vagar never did anything to you.
No, they meant like he helped her, right? Like, because Vagar would, like, I don't know.
Accidentally help someone, right? Yeah.
Accidentally help, yeah.
Just try to revive my empire, man. Get the fuck out of here.
I like the idea that Azir was trying to harm her. I'll drown her in the...
No descendants of mine will... Yeah.
Oh, shit.
This was like the last thing we had for a long time until kind of recently. Yeah. And the way I imagine Shurima returning is that, or the Empire returning. Shurima's just the whole region. It feels weird calling it the city.
It's tricky.
Returning was that everything just came back big and beautiful and people were going to go there, I guess. But no, it's kind of horrifying, actually, when people go to Shurima and they're like, actually, this is like a ghost town. Literally a ghost town. Quite literally. This is scary. One thing I also liked about reading the wiki is I kind of always thought, I forgot how big Shurima is, I guess. Because when I heard about the Empire coming back, And I'm like, well, surely everyone can see that, right? But there's people so far away that they're like, they don't even really believe it. Or they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I'm just got my own shit going. Mark's laughing at me so hard right now. I just thought they could all see it.
It's like the size of like a county.
Like, I know!
Like you can yell, Tom, like the guy in the south gate is yelling at the guy from the west gate. Tom, you see what's happening in the middle?
Holy fuck! That's how
Tell Bill up at the north border what's going on.
The beacons are lit.
The beacons are lit. All three of them.
I don't know, man.
You know what's even crazier too
what?
Is there's I have a fun fact about this a little later, but like the scale of Shurima on the map is also not even fully accurate. Like,
no,
they mentioned that because of the way the map is like, because of the way the map was built, it's kind of like, you know how like when you look at a map of the United or like a map of the world, a lot of the times the sizes of things are way fucking off. They said that Shurima itself is bigger than all of Valoran, but it doesn't look like that on the map.
Is it the thing where like the Pacific Ocean is like half of the Earth?
Right? Like some weird shit like that.
And okay, now you talking about this? I want a Runeterra globe. I'll pay for it.
Oh,
right?
Damn! I would buy a Runeterra globe for sure.
But that's the thing is, once they make that, there's no more. There's no more edges. You can't hide.
Yeah.
There's no more fucking camivores floating around in that motherfucker. I'm just saying.
They need. All right. Here's what they need to do. They need to make a globe that essentially has like a projection map from the inside that has DLC that you can add to it.
See, that got fancy. I was thinking that it would come with like dry erase markers and then you have to draw in when they make a new region.
This is a bad region. Draw a little angry face on it.
Oh, they made a new island over here. Okay, what is the shape?
I love the DLC idea, frankly.
That is great.
I thought you meant like they would just like only show part of it and the other half's like blacked out.
Oh, no. A digital one. A GPS.
Oh, man.
Basically.
But timeline-wise, too, I think the last thing that happened in Shurima that we have record of is the Void starting its recruitment event. Belveth is eating cities and having Malzahar bring people in for the great Void recruitment.
Yeah, and Kaisa's trying to like build up her resistance with one person.
Yeah, it's not going well. It could be going better.
Surely they'll need some other people.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess it's another good thing to point out is that as a part of the whole Azir coming back thing, Xerath also got unleashed, right? So there's a big thing to do between those two. That old fucking chestnut getting dusted off.
He's rushing around, probably wanting to kill Azir and make Shurima fall again. I don't know. And he thinks the whole Renekton trying to kill his brother Nasus thing is hilarious. That's his soap opera.
Yeah, well, in a little bit older stories, there was more of what appeared to be an effort to have a big plot happening with Sivir. In the you know, kind of really leveraging Sivir being Azir's descendant, you know, makes it so that she is a massive target on, you know, from Xerath. The weapon that she wields, it's called a Chalakar. It's a very powerful weapon. It's something that's, you know, I mean, shit, this thing's been around since like the first Ascended was created. This is a real big MacGuffin weapon thingamajig, so this is important. And she's kind of aware of the fact that she is related to this newfound emperor, and that was, especially in those older stories, the big rumor everywhere. The capital's back. And not only that, but now the waters have begun flowing again, right? That's big, massive thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big pull for people to want to go back to the capital.
Yeah, and you can build a whole new civilization around it.
Yeah. And while this connection has not been made yet, I think another big thing is like we know that the Chalakar was one of the things that was used during like the Twilight of the Gods, sealing a bunch of Ascended into weapons. We also know that Yunara was one of the main people who did a shit ton of that sealing of the Darken in Ionia too. So now that Yunara's around and the Chalakar's around, and we have a handful of Ascended that are still just kind of out and about trying to cause chaos.
Darken, you mean?
Well, I mean...
Oh, both.
Well, I mean,
Because I don't...
A black rose by any other name.
Right.
Yeah, good point.
So, I mean, Zareth might be in trouble.
I mean... You're talking about it, and it's like something you mentioned early is that Cassiopeia, who was the big catalyst for all of this shit happening, remember the Black Rose? Black Rose has a real... I mean, something we didn't really mention is that there are portions of northern Shurima, kind of up on the northern coast, that are controlled by Noxus, right? And the Black Rose has an absolute presence here, and if they're doing shit in Ionia, we know there's Darken. It's like 2 Darken, I think, kicking around in Shurima at this juncture. So we very well could see them pull into Shurima at some point, storyline-wise.
That'd be
narratively.
great.
And
I'd like Cassiopeia to get more involved. Too.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Some new Cassiopeia lore. Mm-hmm. And I think, like, just from a strictly magical point of view, too, like, my understanding, we talk about this a lot in reference to Darken, because I think the Darken was where the main priority of the sealing into weapon was, but there's nothing, I think, magically that separates a Darken from an Ascended, like... Nasus or Zareth.
Yeah.
Like, in theory, that shit works on all of them. So just because they haven't gone Darken yet, I don't feel like someone like Yunara is gonna necessarily care or distinguish between one or the other.
That is true. I will say that I think Zareth probably has the most narrative wiggle room to get out of that, because, like we kind of said, he is sort of a weird edge case.
Fucked up Ascended.
Yeah.
Gets the whole... Yeah, so I could ease. I'm telling you, I would love to see Yunara in Shurima.
Yeah.
I mean, genuinely, I would love. Like, we never see Ionia Shurima interactions, but like the connection's there, and especially if they're gonna be harping so hard on that Darken angle anyway with her, like pull her into Shurima, and let's like this. It's an interesting interaction to have.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have Talia, but
I was gonna say Talia's kind of a bridge there. She's from Shurima, but she did study in Ionia.
Yeah, I guess I mean to say like coming from Ionia. Is more like the feeling I have. Yeah, for sure. I would love to see that, and I would love to see her pursue, like, chasing down leads on the Black Rose, and there maybe like something from the Black Rose and Ionia pulls her into Shurima. I would love for them to find some way to try and tie together. This is more stepping out of like actual. Is there like more like factual stuff to put in front of, the listener right now?
Timeline-wise, that's the history.
Okay.
But
I would say I'd love for them to find some way to kind of marry the Azir, Zareth kind of portion and Sivir portion of this that's been set up and kind of left to wither with more of like, it's hard because then they got that void stuff. There's maybe too much stuff going on in Shurima. I don't know.
Shurima, because of the sheer size,
because it's so
being
big,
the size of Valoran, like there's a lot going on there. Like, it's mostly wasteland, but still, like, there's a lot of storylines there for a single region. Self-contained,
though, which I think is why we want to see it connect with another region. I think it's, aside from Ishtal, which Ishtal, I mean, separated itself entirely and covered itself once these, like, void wars started happening. So they don't even have that connection with Ishtal anymore. I don't know, Noxus never tried to invade it. They don't have any trading going on with anybody that we know of. I'm sure they do, but there's just not a connection with any other region, unlike the others.
Yeah, they do have, I think Piltover Zon there's a lot of trade between those two. I guess that's true.
They're right there. I always forget that Piltover Zon is, like, right there with Shurima, like, right next to it.
But, I don't know. It's hard to feel that presence. Certainly from the Piltover side. I guess the question I have is like, what do we know about the Shuriman zeitgeist? That's the thing that's like I have a trouble understanding. Right? It's like I understand that there are these bands of like, I assume nomads and traders. We see stories about them.
Right.
But like, what is the like culturally, where are Shurimans at? Are they like when Azir returns? Are people like are they longing for like a return to it? Is it approached much more like, like where are they at? Are they desperate for? Because that's my feeling is that they would be like broadly desperate for something to harken back to these old glories, or is it something where like everyone's more
leave
afraid
us alone.
of it than anything?
We don't need a leader. Yeah.
My guess is it's probably
I don't know.
Depends on what part of Shurima you're in. Because like I imagine if you're in maybe like like one of the trading areas, right? like you're probably pretty self-sufficient. Like a lot of northern Shurima probably fine.
Their own leaders and whatnot.
Whereas like if you're one of the colonies that is at risk of being just swallowed by the void at any point for no fucking reason, like you might be pretty excited about the protection of a literal god warrior here that's summoning you. We also know at least that like, the traders make it as far north as Ionia too. They're peddling Azurite in Ionia.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. And I think that makes sense. I think maybe what I would like is I would like just them to. I just want like more progression of what's happening with response to the Azir come up, man. Like
yeah,
it's
been focused on the void like, for now, and not so much about Azir.
I mean, I think it's that the feeling really is that like this is an older storyline that was getting a lot of play, and then it got kind of put to the side, and now they kind of something else is being picked up, and that's why this feeling like let's kind of get things back into maybe a little more of a cohesive space, get things a little more connected. Might feel a little more satisfying with Shurima. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's the feeling for sure. Also,
it's alright. Like I said, it's very big.
I'm like blanking on her name. Who's Whip Lady? Bilgewater Whip Lady? Neela. I'd like to see Neela teaming up with Yunara too. I feel like she's been hunting small fish for too long.
You want to see some shit, Neela? Go walk across this desert and try not to get eaten.
See how long your water lasts in Shurima.
I mean, it's just like aesthetics and like and things alone, like that's a great idea. I actually love the idea of Neela.
People will be chasing you down. I'm so thirsty. Please, can I have some of your water?
Whip me, please.
Whip me, Neela.
You missed my tongue. Yeah, do it again. Oh.
We turned it gross so fast.
She's got all those hands. Oh man.
I was thinking because they were thirsty.
Yes.
Yeah, they are thirsty. I'll tell you what.
All right, let's move on.
I have some area breakdowns.
Sure, since Shurima is massive.
Shurima's massive. Okay, so we have... I'll start with the Great Sai, which covers like a lot of north, south, east, and west Shurima,
a lot of the big crap that you don't want to go to, right?
Yeah, this is like the big... When we talk about the big fuck-all desert that is Shurima, a lot of that's like the Great Sai, right? It covers a lot of Shurima in every direction. It's a desolate wasteland. Few who attempt to cross it are ever seen again. And covered in tombs and shit. But this is like everything that's not, I think, a settlement here. Basically just considers the Great Sai. Now, focusing specifically, we have North Shurima now. This is where Belzoon is located. So this is like the northern city. It's controlled by Noxus. This is the one we see a lot of in the Ambessa story. So it has
I forgot that Noxus does control a lot of Shurima.
Yeah.
My bad.
Everyone
was yelling at this podcast right now. Like, you dumbass!
I mentioned it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it's controlled by Noxus. It has a large rebel insurgency against Noxus in it, also known as the Sons of Belzoon. They're the ones that Kino was kind of trying to talk to during the Ambessa story too. They frequently trade weapons with Clan Medarda in Piltover. Mel, Kino, Ambessa, and Azizi lived here for a while during the Ambessa story, and it's where Mel got her golden tattoos.
Yeah, it's definitely got updated after the Ambessa novel, huh?
Well... It did. It didn't get updated on the wiki, but yeah, it did get updated a lot. There's a lot of stuff I had to fill in here myself because it did not get updated post Ambessa.
Look at this guy.
It's so good.
This is also where Kalamanda is, which is the closest city to the Crystal Scar, situated on the northwestern coast of Shurima. The city's primary exports are gold and singstones, or sunstones.
That's so confusing.
Now, old lore, this would have been where Skarner was from.
Yeah. But
that Gondom been changed. Mm-hmm. This is also where Nashrame is, which is the northern coastal city currently run by Hagyet Sabja. The people here are devoted to preserving the ways of the past. So they celebrate their ancestors and the Ascended, and this is where they hold the annual festival celebrating Ramis, where thousands gather to roll and somersault around the city. And this is kind of, they mentioned for sense of scale, traveling on the back of a Dormoon from Nashramay to the capital of Shurima would take approximately 65 days.
Yeah, I remember reading that and being like, what the fuck? So they wouldn't see Shurima rise, right? It's too far away.
They're still waiting on the water, man.
They're like, come on, get over it.
Now, there's a few things in Nashramay of note. This is where the Market of Illumination is, where it is believed that an elderly mason was inspired by a profound yet brief conversation with Rammus and constructed an enormous marketplace which became the bustling heart of Nashramay. This is connected to the Vakora streets. And this is also where a massive Sundisk replica is located, which is kind of the prize of the city. It is non-magical. It is just a replica, but it is to honor Shurima's fallen in a statement of hope that the sun might one day bless them again.
I feel like people here would be excited about Azir's return.
Probably, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I imagine some of them are taking that 65-day journey across the desert.
This is the one that shows up in the Bloodline story, right?
Right, the one that gets kind of fucking just shattered.
Oh, God.
Yeah, spoiler.
Yeah.
I feel
forgot
like
about
the
that.
I feel like the lay people would. I feel like the people in charge would not.
Sure,
I feel,
right,
yeah.
Because the people in charge are specifically trying to pretend that they are descendants of Azir.
They may even believe it. Who knows, right?
They might believe it. You're right.
I think it's more interesting if they genuinely think they are. Yeah.
Who wants no part of this whatsoever.
Right, yeah.
Now, this north section is also where Tereshni is, which is a Shuriman port city controlled by Noxus. This is the city that is led by Steward Tafik.
It was.
Yeah. I guess technically probably Mbessa, although I don't know who takes... I guess maybe... Is this technically controlled by Mel now?
What's happened since this?
There's been a lot of changing of... Tafik certainly doesn't control it after Mbessa, and Mbessa certainly doesn't control it currently, so... So yeah, who knows? Maybe Tereshni's owned by Mel now. So city's best known export is Azurite, which is known as blood glass, which I feel like is kind of glass that was from the capital of Shurima, I guess, when the explosion happened and a bunch of the sand got turned into glass. Who knows how much of it is authentic or not, but it's a very cool idea. Also,
I bet you it's got some sort of latent magical power. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, I like it.
I like the idea of like people going to a museum and getting it like volcanic rocks or ash that you see when you go to a museum or something. Oh, it's a real moon rock, guys.
This is where Urzaris is as well, another northern coast of Shurima, another port city here controlled by Noxus. This one is controlled by steward Zika Tomvin, and its most known trade good is Urzaris salt. And this is where I think Cass and Katarina spent a lot of their younger years.
Oh.
Mm.
Is that where Talon is now, do you think? Did they say
they're in a different spot?
Exactly? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
The last thing of note here is Zaretta. There was a big battle here that Nasus and Renekton were present for, but that's kind of all we know about Zaretta.
All right.
And then we have East Shurima. So, a few things here. We've got Kennethet, an eastern desert city where Talia performed her weaving abilities during her initial travels beyond Shurima. A girl named Shurai would later meet Malphite here as well. And, or not meet Malphite here, but a girl named Shurai who witnessed Talia weaving here would then go on to meet Malphite later elsewhere. What a twisted important. Web we weave.
Yeah.
This is also where the World Rune archives are. So, like, long before Shurima rose from the sands, Rise and the ascended scholar Nasus delved into a ruined archive beneath the Great Sigh and awakened its protector there, which we kind of see in the Call to Power cinematic. And then finally, the Astrologer's Tower, which marks the end of the Wasteland. This is where in the story where Nasus was kind of climbing and hallucinating his younger brother Renekton as a human child, this is where he was headed, the Astrologer's Tower.
Oh,
all right.
It's a good tower name.
All right. Yeah. We got South Shurima. This is where Acacia is located. The south of the Sai Khalik. We know all about Acacia, but they're here. This is where Nazuma is, which is a city-state situated on a lush oasis. So the people of Nazuma fled southward to escape the tyranny of the Ascended, built their city on the only water source for miles, after claiming it from local beasts. This is also where the Sai Khalik is, which is a big southern desert, which is, for the most part, completely uninhabited, other than the Xursai, the Andrexai, who've basically claimed this part of the desert. In here is the Khalik River, which flows from the Mother of Life River from Vakora, which kind of recently sprung to life. This is also specifically, I think, where Vakora is located. I think the other, there's like a big-ass road that kind of like leads from Vakora to the other regions. I think like the road to Vakora is in the north, but Vakora itself is technically in the south. I think that was how how it's situated.
Okay.
But yeah, this is built on the confluence of the Mother of Life River and the Khalik rivers. This was where Azir's mother was born, and it was recently decimated by Xerath during the events of Bloodline. We have Marrowmark, which is just a trader settlement erected in the rib cage of some long-dead desert behemoth. And this is also where Zolan is, which is a big old ruined city. There used to be a big, massive statue of the god warrior Zolani here. It was basically just destroyed by the Void, much to the chagrin of Talia, who was really hoping that it was less destroyed after leading a group there for salvation. This is also where Cypherage is, which used to be a vassal state of Shurima known for its astromancers. And then after Shurima's fall, it became a barren desert known as the Endless Plain. This is where the City of Gardens is, which used to be a huge city with all sorts of gardens. This was destroyed not by the fall of Shurima, but by the Rune Wars. The entire population was annihilated in one night. So all that's left there is ruins. This is where we see Kala and Rise venture during the events of the Rise brand comic Burning Lands. This is also where the Zoantha Cascade is, which is just kind of like a big kind of like shifting tide of desert. Has like a lot of like, I don't know, active sand tides. But Shurimans, as kind of a tradition, toss beloved objects into these sands as gifts to the Ascended. So it is a popular place for treasure hunters to just look for shit that people have thrown in there.
Like digging in a well, robbing man, wishing wells. These are somebody's wishes. You guys. Oh my god.
Narramazath is also in this area. So the old city of Narramazath used to be the capital of Shurima. This is where the sun worshippers made the first iteration of the sun disk. So after Azir's death, the Ascended came back here, and they massacred all of Narramazath's inhabitants and burned the city to the ground, because this is where Azir met Xerath. So they were like, fuck you. Fun fact, it's not even where Xerath was born. It's just where they met it. But they burned it to the ground anyway. When Xerath came back, he proclaimed himself the new Emperor of Shurima, and he made the decayed city of Narramazath his capital.
Oh, poor place.
Now,
according to Realms of Runeterra, Narramazath was the first capital. Did you say that?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, fuck me. Sorry.
You did mention it, yeah.
This. I was reading what you were saying.
But it's good to know twice, you know?
Shut up. This was also definitely written by written by the winners. When the noble emperor Azir was denied ascension, all of Shurima's hopes died with him.
For no good reason.
For no good reason. Azir's not even mentioned. Also, it says here, now that Azir has arisen, life is slowly returning to what was once desert. In the throes of rebirth, Shurima struggles to balance the return of this ancient power with the disparate cultures and ways of life that ensured survival in its absence.
I am curious, kind of just
doesn't really
logistically, what the impact of having that giant ass river that can bring people back from the dead.
Massive. I mean, and just in water in general, even if the river wasn't magical at all, a river suddenly rushing through a desert is like, that's going to change everything about that land.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny that you talk about the culture thing because that doesn't come up at all as far as I can tell. It's much more about how when you go to the capital, it's full of spooky sand people.
Yeah.
I mean, literal people of sand, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Because I mean the ones from Star Wars or whatever.
No. No. It's, as scary as that is. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny that was the idea they had, and then I feel like it got abandoned immediately.
Yeah, I think they decided it would be more fun if it was spooky.
If it was full of comic book villains shooting lightning bolts at everybody. I mean, I feel like that river does not raise anybody from the dead. You got to be a super special Sivir.
Yeah, so Sivir can get thrown in there over and over again. Every time she dies, someone's got to toss her.
Can she drown in there? Yeah. Right.
Can she drown? Just over and over again? Oh man, that's horrible.
Yeah, but then she becomes a vengeful ghost who also then hunts Viego.
I was saying, this is real Blessed Isles situation.
The only other things here are Renek River, which doesn't have a lot from it other than it's named Renek River. It may be, from an area around here that Renek and Anasis are from. And Zarima.
Since it is close to his name.
It is close to his name.
You can't have a Renek River and a character named Renekton and just be like, they're unrelated.
It's just coincidence.
It's just a really popular name, Renek.
It's a cool sound.
This is also where Zarima is, which is just a kind of small merchant camp, but it is where Kassadin resided for a long time before his home, got destroyed.
Stop eating plastic.
Okay.
Stop it.
Sorry,
I like the idea
I'm
of
eating plastic.
It's good for you.
Right, yeah. Last thing here, no champions, but Valley of Song is like a remote pass that got its name from the disorienting whistles that result when the wind blows hard enough through the hollow rock statues. And there's a lot of deafened marauders who prowl here by night.
Oh.
That is cool.
Whoa.
This is what I'm talking about. Like, it's a cool adventuring space. Like the idea that there's these big like monsters, but they're deaf. So like you have these sort of like, you know what I'm saying? Like you got all these little like details you could kind of play around with.
Mm-hmm.
And you got all like the Zursai that are, I don't know if they're all blind, but they can.
Yeah, what are Zursai? I wanted to talk about them more in detail just a little bit. What are they?
Zursai are giant void creatures that are kind of like, tunneling monsters. They can, much like the worms in Dune, they can sense your footsteps on the surface.
I think you mean Tremors.
Or the much better work, Tremors. Yeah.
Thank you. Fuck Dune.
All right,
Kevin Bacon hit Tremors.
Much like the Ass Blasters from
Those
Tremor.
came later, the Ass Blasters. Big fan of the Tremors franchise over here.
Graboids or whatever. Graboids?
Graboids, yeah.
Graboids. Yeah, I don't know. That's not mentioned because the void kicking around in the wildlife is kind of a big thing for Shurima specifically.
Yeah, it's one of the only I think maybe the only place that it is. Like, it's not like the void is this hidden, scary thing. It's quite literally the middle of this desert. You will, come across void creatures.
Yeah.
And that's where they send the children barefoot to try to cross it.
Yeah. As guides. Because they're the pros.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because they're cheap.
Oh, God. Rexize their mother.
Yeah.
Deserves them.
And finally, we have West Shurima. Also, I guess while we're on the topic of this too, she does not seem to be a fan of the evolutions that are happening the void in this area too, because there seem to be a lot of very rapid and rampant evolutions happening.
Isn't a fan?
Like Rek'Sai.
Right. Like
yeah.
Like the larger Xerxai as a whole, probably,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like to clarify, there's tension between the existing sort of more animalistic void, we'll say, void creatures, and Belveth and whatever is going on with her and her efforts to her own unique void flavor, right?
Right.
There's it's a weird internal conflict erupting from this, like, what should be this space of just like nothing consumption. You know what I mean?
I feel like it reminded me a lot of if you've played StarCraft 2, the Heart of the Swarm expansion, kind of specifically when the Queen of Blades heads to the, what do they call them? Like the primal.
I've not actually played this. I just know about StarCraft a bit.
Yeah, the primal Zerg are basically like the Xerxai, where they're very like, we're just big, strong. We will destroy whoever's weaker, and we'll get stronger for it. But like, we're not all about this crazy tweaking you guys are doing on a genetic level. That's weird. We prefer to eat things to evolve.
Sure, yeah.
In my day, we ate our enemies, and we liked it.
I mean, that does feel right. The old void kind of just wants to consume everything, and Belveth is like, no, I want it to all become a part of me. We can all be one.
Yeah.
All right, so Western Shurima, we have Saikal, which is a settlement in Western Shurima. This is a tributary that connects the Mother of Life River and is the official birthplace of Xerath.
Oh.
This is where the Path of Dust is, which was once called the Water Road during the times of ancient Shurima, which is the main road that leads from the town square to the river shores of Saikal. This is where the Tomb of Nazuk is, too, which was a lost tomb of a powerful ascended warlord, and is where Ezreal found his gauntlet. We've got Amakra, which is the birthplace of Malzahar and Samira, who I don't think I realized until reading this that the two were born in the same town.
Yeah.
This has been destroyed at this point by followers of Xerath. And then we made it here, folks. The capital city, home of the Sundisk.
Shurima.
Shurima. The capital city.
You can make it there. You can make it anywhere.
Yeah, doesn't surprise. I was not able to find an official name of this city other than it being called the capital city. I think people refer to it as Shurima, kind of just like colloquially.
Yeah. New York, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So this is where the Circle of Ascension is, very center of the city above the Grand Temple, the Oasis of the Dawn, and the Imperial Palace. The Circle of Ascension is the main focal point from which the privileged and accomplished harnessed the power of the Sundisk and became ascended. The Oasis of Dawn, which is described as the Mothers of Life, is the oasis located near the Tomb of Emperors. It was the city's main source of fresh water. It's infused with unknown magical properties and has immense healing powers. And it's also said that any edge dipped into this pool will stay sharper and strike truer than any other. And this is the one that now flows anew. Also, I don't think that little tidbit is ever... I don't think we ever see that. Maybe we'll see it at some point, but I don't think that's ever been used, as far as I know.
To put the Chalicar in there or whatever, I don't know.
Right? I assume it's been dipped there, right? Maybe you could use that, like... Maybe Bilgewater needs that shit so they can... Maybe it'll fight back.
The idea. You're buying weapons from some guys like, this been dipped? It's like, yeah, it's been dipped. My dipless shit's over there. This shit's been dipped, son.
Straight in the queso.
I mean, it reminds me so much of Bilgewater too. Where they're like, "Oh, is this gonna kill the mist?" Like, "Oh yeah, we dipped it in rum. It's fine."
What don't you understand about been dipped?
Bean dip? Are you saying bean dip? Maybe I'm just hungry.
Yeah, I wish I had some queso on bean dip, man.
Me too.
And this is also where the Tomb of Emperors is, which is where Xerath was locked with Renekton for fucking forever.
A while.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Shurima.
Mm-hmm.
Solid.
Yeah. I think that's the main area.
Should we talk about the animals?
I would love to hear about the animals.
Listen, I don't have notes on the animals. We discussed this, but
Mark has some.
Mark has some because he also wants to talk about the animals.
Well, there are a few I wanted to call out. I thought we talked about Bakai as a part of this.
Yeah.
So we mentioned them a couple times. So they're kind of like failed ascended. And I don't know if they were something that happened pre-Shuriman Fall or something that has just happened more recently. There's mention of Xerath creating them. I don't know if he does it for fun or if he's like a mad scientist or what's kind of happening exactly. But yeah, so they're somewhere in between human and ascended, where they do have some of those powers, but it seems like the process of the failed process in turn kind of like shatters their minds, and they're just monsters essentially, right?
Yeah, that's kind
of. But there's like, I was gonna say there were some rumblings about maybe like the idea of Rammus being a Bakai, for example, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just things like that. So there's something that's kind of out there. They seem to be a threat to specifically Cassante and where he's from. I didn't write it down, which I guess I should have. It is a part of Shurima.
Right, I forgot.
It's hard because it feels so much like they kind of. There's like a sticky note down at the South Shurima that says like.
This is where Cassante's from.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a little hard to feel like. Nazuma.
Okay, so he's from Nazuma.
Oh.
Wait, did we talk about Nazuma at all? I feel like
I don't think so. Well, maybe a little.
Yeah, we did. Okay,
Yeah.
South Shurima.
Yeah.
To escape the tyranny of. Okay, yes.
They do not like
situated
the
on the lush oasis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
I think it specifically always remained independent. Was able to rebuff the Shuriman conquerors, I suppose, because they're just so good at fighting Bakai and monsters. So something to throw out there that's kicking around. Dorman? Is that what they're called?
The Dorman. I found really interesting.
They're cool. They're big like herd animals. Like, and I say big, they're like massive. So much
massive,
so that like
massive. Yeah.
Yeah, like traveling almost sort of like tribes, almost sort of like traveling cities is the best. Like maybe not that big, but they're like villages that travel around on these Dorman that they say can like sense the water just through some instinct that people don't know the function of it, but so people just ride them around.
And it's just like people have built their homes on them, and like there's just like that's so cool. How much champion that's come from there.
Which is
I love the idea
also,
of a living.
Yeah.
Is important to know the size of something like that too, because we did say that the Dormoon were like the travel speed of a Dormoon going from one place to another, 65 days.
Yeah.
I guess it's important to know how big a Dormoon is to give context to that travel.
To that 65-day travel.
They're big.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah,
There's
and I think we see some in that.
Oh, go ahead. No.
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure they show up in that Burning Lands comic. I think one of the woman who kind of accompanies Rise was like a Dorman rider, as I recall, right? Am I thinking about it right? It's been a minute since I read that one.
Probably.
I don't remember.
Doesn't seem like that's that impressive. A Dormoon rider seems like you just crawl up on top and go to sleep and let it do its work.
Well, they talk about specifically them being. I mentioned that because they talk about how, and it comes up in that comic that they're sort of what's like the opposite of a rite of passage, when like you're too old. It's like a rite of like seniority. I don't know. Essentially, when you get too old to run the ropes, like it's forced retirement. They call it like running the ropes. So what I imagine is that like, yes, you can just chill out on top, but you also have to be able to go from one Dorman to the other, and there are ropes connecting them, right? And when you're too old to do that, you are lowered onto the sand, and that's the rest of your life is just to be earthbound while everyone else moves on in the big Dorman caravan.
Reminds me of those, like, the truck caravan from Twisted Metal.
That's exactly what I was thinking about, was the truck caravan. This, like, traveling, civilization, kind of.
Y'all should watch the Twisted Metal show.
It's fun.
I'm not seeing it. It's fine. That's a ringing endorsement.
Oh, I said it's fun.
Fun. Okay,
yeah,
that's actually a ringing endorsement. Okay, and I like the idea of a truck caravan, and I like the idea of a convoy. Right, I'm loving it all. I'm into it. I played a lot of the Mad Max game recently. Honestly, Shurima, this whole thing is very. Anyway.
Yeah, I could see that.
You said you had something else you wanted.
Oh, there were a couple other that were interesting. There are just sand swimmers, which are non-void creatures, and they're not harmful. And people will jump on their backs to like get far across the desert on them, which I think is fun. And then there are skalashi, which are another type of like large animal that people will ride on. You cannot build a civilization on one, though. You can build a room. They're not quite as big as the Dormon, but I guess they're a little more, hot-tempered as well. And owning one, I think, is a sign of considerable prosperity. So not everyone can afford one of those, I guess.
Oh, I was gonna say it's like the studio apartment of like, well, this is the bathroom, that's the kitchen, that's my bedroom. It's like all on the back of one kalashi. Yeah.
Damn.
What are the creatures that were chasing that the guy who was essentially like sand surfing in that Shurima Legends of Runeterra cinematic?
Oh, I don't know.
Like
I'd have to look at it.
They looked like they had big. They almost looked like giant like crocodiles or alligators, but they like ran really fast. Yeah.
Saurian. Saurian.
Oh, were those also the ones in the story where Renekton came and just fucking destroyed that Rengar? That
Dollar Store Rengar.
What are they called? Kashiri or something like that? Yeah, Rengar's
they're
folks.
called. Oh, you're asking me all these like random questions. They're like pulling from it. I'll remember it in 20 minutes. Sorry. Saurians is what they're called. They're like big. They're like you said. They're like big crocodiles, but they're like land based. They're
not on the Wiki.
And then that's wild because they do show up in. I mean, they show up in Runeterra, and they show up in at least one spot that's not Shurima, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it is or what the card is called.
It sounds like something fucking Noctis would use, right? Yeah, Kilosh is the Rengar folks that I was trying to think of the name of. They did the story with Renekton and one of the Kilosh. But it seems like something Noxus would use, right? They're in Shurima, and they also love mounts that can also kill. So it seems like
I would love to see. I mean, that would be a great little thing to tell a story about. Of like, why don't they use Saurians? Or maybe they do. Maybe you know what you would really try and do with that. Now that we're just is really harp on like the Noxian. What's the opposite of humility? Like pride,
hubris,
right? Hubris, arrogance. Right, the assumption that like, oh, we've trained Basilisk, we can train a Saurian. And it's like, no, you lose many limbs trying to do that. You need to get locals, and the need to like leverage the need to get the assistance of the local Shurimans to work with them.
Anything else?
Noteworthy animals?
Animal wise?
No.
No, I think the sand swimmers are cool too. They're like whales. They're cool.
Yeah.
Oops.
Now I have, since we haven't talked about it yet, some champions that are either from or associated with Shurima.
Yeah.
So first off, the list we have, they are either from here or they live here. We got Aatrox, Akshan, Amumu, Azir, Belveth, Janna, Jax, Kaisa, Kassadin, Cassante, Malphite, Malzahar, Nefiri, Nasus, Rammus, Rek'Sai, Rel as of Ambessa, even though her bio hasn't been updated.
That's true.
Renekton, Rengar, Rost, Samira, Sivir, Talia, Varus, Xerath, and Zillion.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Now, we have some connected to. So, previously lived there, but probably don't live there now. Maybe live there now, but we don't really know. We got Cassiopeia, Mel, and Ambessa. Then we've got Sentinels, baby! Viego, Draven, Karma, Thresh, and Lucian.
They've all been there looking for something.
Yeah, Viego, Draven, and Karma all went there looking for a fetter. Thresh sent Lucian there looking for the Absolver, which is where where Lucian met Akshan. We've got the just stealing category. These are people that are just on the block looking for shit to steal. Or takeout of Shurima, I guess, technically. Where we've got Ezreal, Ryze, Brand, LeBlanc, and Yuumi. Now, we've got the just fighting category, where they seem to just be here to be fighting, folks. We got Pantheon, Rumble, Zoe, and Vel'Koz. Rumble's just here to fight some bullies. Zoe's here to fight all of the Ascended. Vel'Koz just seems to be here to see what's going on, right?
Knowledge,
you know?
Yeah.
With his big eyeball.
He's
just looking.
Sure.
And then Pantheon's fighting Ascended. Doesn't seem to be doing well, but he's here. He's bringing armies that just get decimated.
God bless him. He's trying. Bless his heart. I'll say Rumble's kind of a twofer because he's kind of there also just stealing. He's just taking things, right? To put on his mech or whatever.
Yeah. Then we've got just watching and wondering. We've got Soraka and Skarner for this one. Skarner, while with the updated lore, doesn't seem to be technically from Shurima anymore. His kind of a bunch of scorpions kind of like from his race are from Shurima. Like it seems like a lot of his kind are from there and do currently live there. Even though he kind of seems like he was always like Ishtali. And then when everything went down in Acacia, he was like, hey, Ishtal, you want to fuck right off and not worry about that? We'll close up and see what's going on out there. So that's what he's doing. And Soraka's just kind of here. She's just always everywhere.
Just hanging out. Causing shit.
Right. Next up, we have the Teachers of the Year Award. Now, these go to Yasuo and Aurelian Soul. Yasuo for teaching Talia how to control Raksha, and Aurelian Soul for teaching Shirimans how to be Ascended. Not voluntarily, they just sucked the knowledge out of his brain, but,
You do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Then we've got the Rockstar category.
John!
Which does not include Malphite. This is not a play on words. This is just Seraphine.
No, it is a play on words, because she got the rock, and that's...
She does have a rock.
And she's singing.
That is why I did Rockstar.
I know.
So she is still using crystal shit from Shurima, even though they have adjusted how exactly that plays out in her lore. It's still there. She's still talking to fucking
whatever it is.
Scorpion folks.
Whatever it is. Whatever you call that thing.
Whatever that thing is.
And then finally, we have Your Tragedy is My Constellation, which is my favorite
emo song.
My favorite Panic at the Disco song.
Is that actually a Panic song?
No.
Oh, okay.
That would have been great.
That is such a good title for an emo song.
I write Sins, Not Tragedies is the Panic at the Disco.
I know that one, but they have a lot of long-titled songs.
They do. This one is Bard, who created a star constellation specifically about the fall of Shurima.
One of their songs is just a line from a Chuck Palahniuk book.
I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
What was the line?
I knew the song. The only difference between I don't remember the rest of the line. But anyway, I read it. I want to say Invisible Monsters, but I'm not sure. Sorry, Hen. Sorry, Mark. What was it?
Oh, I don't know. Is it the one
Did
about
you want to take a stab at it?
The only difference.
Yeah, my guess is gonna be the one about like
something
between like a tragedy and statistics, like something like that.
The disco.
I feel like one of my favorite Panic at the Disco
songs. The only
songs.
difference between martyrdom and suicide is press coverage.
Oh no, mine's different. That's more cynical.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite songs of theirs is like, there's a good reason these tables are labeled honey, you just haven't figured it out yet.
It's so ridiculous.
Anywho, those are the champions.
And this is our new Panic at the Disco podcast.
Right? It's raw trivia too. Can we from memory name these songs?
I couldn't name one, except for I Write Sins on Tragedies because it's short.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
One of their shortest. I have just two things here for Mythos around Shurima. One is the Great Weaver. It's a Shuriman deity which weaves the lives and destinies of each individual and holds individual triumph into consideration, since even the smallest rock is important in weaving the larger tapestries of life. So belief in the Great Weaver started sometime after the fall of Shurima and is widely practiced by nomads and shepherds and, Talia.
Yeah.
And then we have the Immortal Fire, which seems to be a Legends of Runeterra thing. I think that's the only place it's ever mentioned that I could find, and only as like a quote. It said, "For ages, the Immortal Fire flew alone, till one day she saw a young bird with fiery golden wings like hers. She rejoiced, for she had never known another like herself. But as years passed, the young bird grew old and flickered out. The Immortal Fire grieved, for she had never known death, and so she wept sparks and sighed herself ablaze till she emerged, renewed in body, but burdened with knowledge." So it seems just like the Shuriman phoenixes.
Yeah.
What that is.
Yep. That's it.
I got a handful of fun facts before we get into some story recommendations.
Sure, lay them on me.
Sure.
Season 9, the ranked emblems for the League system were redesigned, and Shurima represents the emblem for Gold rank. The Emperor of Shurima had other titles, such as the Golden Sun or Beloved of Mother Desert. Seems presumptuous, but...
I don't believe it.
Mama's boy. Yeah.
Mama's boy. Mama Desert.
Ooh, and actually, I misremembered this fun fact. So again... I don't know if this is canon or not, because this was back when the Howling Abyss was released, but in that kind of three sister spiel, it said that the three of them had been living before Shurima's foundation, not fall. So making them even more ancient than all of the Shuriman champions.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it said Shurima was one of the earliest of Valorant civilizations to ruin itself.
There's a shocking amount of them.
It fell over 3,000 years ago.
We'll get back up.
So for a lot, because it was so long ago, ancient Shurima was to many people like an Atlantis-like myth. So even people from Shurima were like, never existed.
I love that.
That's more. Yeah, I like that more.
Mm-hmm. I mean, 3,000 years is a long time. They didn't have cameras.
For sure, right?
You know, you just gotta take the word for it that there was a big city there.
And even a lot of people from Shurima were like, maybe it existed, but
I mean, it's so far away, right? Like if you,
right?
Not everyone lived in the capital city,
And until very recently, too, there were like stories about Nasus and Renekton, but they were just like legends. No one believed that they were actually real. Almost all of the names given to Voidborn are ancient Shuriman in origin. Ancient Coin, Nomad's Rebellion, and Talisman of Ascension are Shuriman artifacts that you can purchase as items in-game. The iconic Shuriman colors are gold, emerald green, and garnet red. Shurima's crest was inspired by the sun disk. With the resurrection of Azir and the subsequent return of flowing waters in Shurima, the River King could possibly view this as a new market opening up with fresh deals for naive mortals.
I love that.
I would love it.
Please.
Pull the trigger.
Oh, he'd fucking...
Make a killing.
He'd make a killing in Shurima. Yeah. Those people are so desperate.
When the capital of Shurima was swallowed beneath the desert, a bunch of other cities suffered the same fate, and in the millennia followed, the remnants of those original civilizations have become feral troglodytes subsisting in lightless caverns. So rarely are they seen by those from the surface unless stumbled upon by lost adventurers who discover these forsaken people, which I think is who we actually see in the Rise brand cinematic too. They get attacked by just these, these citizens of this city that just got swallowed by the sand centuries ago.
Look at what are they called? Oh, they call from the Time Machine.
The Morlocks.
The Morlocks, yeah.
What a throwback.
And I mentioned this one. So the justification as the map on universe is rectilinear, is a rectilinear projection.
Come on.
Places near the poles look bigger than they should in comparison to places near the equator. So Shurima looks about the same size as Valoran, but has a larger area, in fact. But that's all I got for fun facts. What
Cool.
Did you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about before we kind of go into recommendations of stories and
comics,
kind of lore from this area?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. We talked about a lot of the things I had meant to talk about.
Good go us.
Good job.
Everyone followed the discussion points. I love it.
Well, a couple tangents.
Right, just a couple. So, I mean, I've got my list of shit from here. We can kind of take turns. What stories from this area do you think are worth reading for people?
Sure. I mean, we'll start we'll go old from new, at least for me, and we'll start with Where Cathia Once Stood. This was one that we read pretty early on, and it still stands the test of time as a very good story. I think it's by Graham McNeil. I didn't write down any of the buys, but I'm certain most of these old ones, Graham McNeil for sure.
Graham McNeil had a heavy hand on in Shurima.
I think this was the first region that they really redid as a part of the big lore universe coming out party. This is very cool.
Surprisingly contentious, as I remember. Although that's the case with any time any lore is redone. So
yeah.
I'll throw that out there. It's pretty cool. It's both a good Shurima story and a cool Void story. So
yeah, I like that. I guess we're also old in the timeline of things, I guess. Twilight of the Gods, also by Graham McNeil. This was kind of the story where we see the big gathering of, both the Ascended and those who have already kind of fallen and become Darken. And we see the aspect of Twilight totally fucking punk all of them.
Yeah, this one's also very good. This is again one that I felt like we read really early, and I remember really liking. This is very good. And again, I think we reread it many times, and every time I think it's I like it a lot. I'll throw out. I don't really have a lot. There's not many of the old ones. I don't really throw up any Azir stories, for example, or any Sarah stories.
I guess I have one Sarah story technically, but
which I guess should say something. I maybe Water and Shade to you, but to be honest with you, I didn't read it for this episode. I should have. I didn't. We've all been sick, which is why we're recording this late anyway. So I was gonna throw up. What are these picks here? What's my favorite pick here? I think my favorite pick might actually be Scourge of the Desert. This is a Rek'Sai kind of story. But what's really fun about this is that it's from the perspective of a Noxian who is like going on an expedition into it, and it's accompanied with like art, and it's written as journal entries or letters specifically, actually. So this is a really neat premise. It's a neat perspective, and it's a lot of fun. I like it a lot.
Nice. I put Sai Khalik here for my Rek'Sai story, which is an Odenostan Schaefer story, where we learn all about kind of the little kids who are guiding people across the deserts.
I mean, I had it on here too. It's funny how much like Rek'Sai got in here for all these champions we talked about.
I know she's not involved in the story, but she's just so damn terrifying.
I think that, and it's like the Sai Khalik is also a good one of like just getting a feeling of what it's like to try and make it across one of the deserts in Shurima, right? You know,
like how stuck people are in like their civilizations that they live in.
Right.
Try to go somewhere else, like something might pop out of the sand and devour you. Cool.
Right. And like how?
Oh gosh.
It's one of those like this is how the orphans live in Shurima. Like we talk about all the orphans in Ionia. The orphans in Shurima, what they get to do is guide
Syndra
people across the desert where most of them are probably gonna die. There's no old guides because no one makes it that long.
The OQL, the Orphan Quality of Life, the OQLI, Orphan Quality of Life Index.
It's so bad in Shurima. It's definitely the worst place.
Yeah, it's a great thing that speaks to that, like you said, like the cheapness of human life in Shurima at this juncture.
Right. Yeah.
For sure. I'll throw out Bloodline. Is it Bloodline? Bloodlines? I think I wrote down Bloodline.
That's the only Xerath story I have.
Yeah.
And he's, one aspect of it.
One aspect.
This picks up with Sivir kind of after some of the aftermath, like you said, where Xerath is kind of chasing after her, and Nasus also. So it's I think the latest in the plot development of what's going on with Sivir, and you get a real good like sense of, because they're all walking around in this big Shuriman city and what the city is kind of like, and this sort of like we talked about the people saying that they're like the descendant of the Hawk Emperor, and you get kind of the idea of what some of the culture might be like in Shurima these days.
Yeah, I like it a lot, and it's got 4 champions in it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's also a big piece, right? It's
I like it a lot. I put Aunt Bessie here just because it's a long ass book, but you get a lot about a lot of it's in Shurima.
Yeah, a lot. Yep.
That's true. That's true. I kind of think about that one. I'm gonna throw out Echoes in the Stone. This is the Talia story. This one's neat because it's still relating to what's going on with very recent events with Azir, and it goes into how when Talia goes to visit the capital that has been risen back up, it's like you said, it's like a weird ghost town with these weird sand soldiers, and because she has this magical affinity for stone and rocks, when she touches the buildings, she can hear the screaming echoes of the lives lost, like in the instant that Shurima was lost, and then how they're still kind of there. So it's neatly kind of, the whole place is kind of haunting in this, and it's kind of neat.
Speaking of Talia, I put Hollow Spun on mine by Dana Lurie Shaw, which is kind of the Kaisa Talia buddy cop, pair up, where Talia's trying to get a bunch of, those Shuriman orphans and refugees to a safe place, which doesn't really exist in Shurima, certainly not where they're going. And it was a really cool, glimpse of what it takes to survive here, even if you have superpowers.
Yeah.
For sure. I had the Burning Lands comic. We've talked about it a couple times. It's mostly about Rise and what he's up to, but the art it's just like you said, they're showing them on the Dorman and them descending down into a Shuriman thing. So if you're looking for to get a visual impression of doing what they do in Shurima, going and looting at some ruins, it's a great spot for it. Yeah, it's cool. It's a good comic.
Yeah. I got Feast of the Prophet by Jared Rosen, which is a new Malzahar story where we get a very, very cool description of what it is like in the Cult of the Void that he has started, the kind of crazy visualizations that Belveth is bringing to Shurima as if things weren't bad enough for them already there. Very, very cool visualizations in this one, though. I love the storytelling in this one.
Yeah, I forgot about this one, but it's a very good pick. Last one for me is Greed and Tears, which is the Amumu story. Which is really fun because it's told kind of like a ghost story, but it's kind of told with a framing narrative of like a storyteller who is telling the story. And so the whole thing is pretty neat. I went back and looked through some of the parts of it for this episode. I was like, yeah, this was pretty fun. So that's it for me. I'm cashed.
Okay, I got 3 more.
Oh.
We got With Teeth by Graham McNeil, which is that story that we talked about with Renekton.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That's a really good one.
Where we get to, the Saurons and Renekton fighting
that's a brutal one.
That is brutal, right? Yeah. It's very cool. Very cool action in that one. And very cool, I feel like it's very rare that we see, outside of Bloodline, which was kind of a cool visualization of the power level of Xerath and Nasus, this is kind of the first instance I feel like we get like a really visceral glimpse of the power level of an actual Ascended in a story, and it's very cool.
Yeah, they kind of skirt around it in where Kathia once stood, but in this one it's like locked down into like one-on-one combat where it seems as though Renekton is getting utterly decimated, and then he ults. You know, he turns on the Ascended power, and it's like, wow, it was never a contest, right?
Yeah, it's just like a phase 2 of a boss fight where you used all your consumables in phase 1. The other one I had here was Caravan North, which I thought was kind of cute. It was a cute,
I almost
cute Rammus story. That was a Rayla Hyde Rammus story where, you know, this caravan's getting attacked by these like a bunch of these tiny like not beetles, scarabs.
You say tiny? I thought they're like dog-sized.
They're dog-sized scarabs. Tiny compared to everything else in Shurima.
Yes. It's the Australia of
right. And then Rammus kind of comes and saves the day, seemingly inadvertently, just like because he was hungry or whatever. But you know, saves the day anyway. It was a cute story though. And finally, I have Everything We Should Have Said by Michael Luo, which was a Cassante story. And this is kind of another
good one.
It's another modern story where we see not necessarily what's happening with like the big gods out here, but what happens when those big gods gather enough followers and those followers try and go out and do their own shit too. This is kind of a story. At core, it's kind of like a nice romantic tale between, I think, Cassante and his ex. But also, well, I say romantic. It was a nice, there's no real romance. His ex has a new, it's a nice meeting up again. Like, hey, what's up? But also a big battle between a bunch of Zareth zealots.
Yeah, I always like seeing like people outside of like that big core group that's going on in Shurima right now. So that one's fun for that.
Yeah, I think it was a story that provided closure for Cassante, because I think that's something that he didn't have prior to that. So it was a nice little closure short.
I need him to get involved with all this bullshit that's happening, because Cassante is a champion they made, and they gave him his thing, and then...
It's tough, too, because they gave him his thing, they made him, like... well, who knows? Maybe that town is full of people as powerful as Cassante, but from what I can see, he may be the sole person protecting that entire oasis from the Bakai and the Zareth cultists. So they kind of locked them into...
I guess that's true,
Yeah. In terms of comics, there's a Fall of the Empire series of comics that I think is... kind of tells the story of, I guess, the fall and the rise of Shurima. Yeah, it's not long
like
at
3
all.
panels.
Yeah, it was like one of those things for, I think it was just
a microsite or something. Yeah,
it was a microsite thing. And we have
write down all of the videos
for other media. Yeah, baby. Bam. Number 1, Curse of the Sad Mummy. Don't want to miss it. You get to see executive producer of Arcane, Christian Link, sing his heart out in this one.
It's genuinely beautiful, I'll say, just like art direction wise and the visuals. Musically, it's just pretty sweet too.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Speaking of Arcane, get to see Mama Medarda.
Mama Medarda.
We have Descent into the Tomb, and then Empires of the Ascended, and then Rise of the Ascended, which are all kind of mini cinematics narrated by Nasus that kind of tell the story of how, the whole resurrection of Shurima happened. It tells the story of like Sivir and Cassiopeia, and then all that good stuff. We have Defeat Your Monster, which is the Cassante cinematic, which is also very fucking cool.
It's pretty cool.
It's really good.
I'd say the music slaps. It's basically just his theme, but his music slaps.
His theme is awesome.
We've got Hounds of Iron, which is an Nefiri cinematic. Call of Power, which we mentioned, which part of that is in Shurima with Rise working with Nasus to recover some of the world runes from one of those big ass temples. We have the Lone Warrior, which I'm trying to remember which one that one is. I feel like is that the Legends of Runeterra one where that one dude's trying to recover something for Azir?
Maybe for the Shurima, like the Shurima release or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like that's called something
exactly
else.
What Lone Warrior is.
No, it's a Sivir. It's a Sivir champion trailer for Wild Rift. I bet. Yeah, Sivir champion trailer for Wild Rift.
That tracks.
So it's
yeah. That's the one. Then we've got Homecoming, which is the Talia cinematic. We've got The Call, which is that was the season opener cinematic where we get to see Talia and Talia and Kaisa fighting Rek'Sai and her Xerxai in the town that Talia was really hoping would be safe and not at all infested by Xerxai.
Whoopsies.
Whoops. We've got The Climb, which was another kind of season opener, which has Talia fighting against what seems to be Xerath, surprisingly well. His one weakness is rock, so that worked out.
You can't electrocute a rock.
That's that's fair.
Pokemon taught you one thing.
Yeah, I play Pokemon.
We have Guardians of the Ancient, which was a Zillion Legends of Runeterra cinematic. We have All That Will Ever Be, which was the Belveth cinematic. We have Belveth's Promise, which is kind of some very short cinematics, I think, for Balzahar and Valkaz. We have Warriors, which had Ezreal and Kaisa fighting together against a bunch of the Void because he really wanted to recover a Tear of the Goddess.
Hey man, you need that thing. You playing that ARAM, you have to have some cues.
And then we have the Terror Beneath, which was the Rek'Sai animation hunting the group of Shurimans.
It's a lot of videos.
There's a lot of videos.
Yeah, they get a lot of videos, don't they?
What the fuck, Riot?
What the
I don't know. This is interesting when you think about it, right?
Well, it is half of the map, so
I guess it's true.
That's true. Did you mention Empires of the Ascended? Because that's
I was gonna say. Now that I'm thinking of it, I think there's probably like another 2 that aren't on this list. But I think Empires of the Ascended is the one I was thinking of. That was like the Legends of Runeterra one, right?
Yeah.
Where you get to see.
Is there
Nasus and Renekton fight in that one too?
Is there a Tales of Runeterra Shurima thing? I don't think so, right?
Tales of Runeterra one.
What like the Noxus one where they want to melt the king's crown, or the Ionian one with Shin and Akali. You know what I'm talking about? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Oh.
I thought that one was the one that you were just talking about.
I think maybe technically I guess to be fair, it wasn't a part of that initial, launch of regions,
Release that
right?
they had, yeah.
Yeah. So I just yeah.
Any final thoughts on Shurima?
Anyway. Oh, it's big. There's a lot going on, man.
That's big, man.
Why there's so much Shurima, man? What the fuck?
This is going to be the most boring part of the MMO.
Shurima? No. It'll be fun. They'll make it fun.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be like navigating, the water in a game that's 99% water and then 1% islands. That's going to be, it's just going to be walking through desert the whole time.
No.
They would have to get some. I would hope that you would have a lot of really fun stuff going on with like delving into the ruins and some Zareth stuff and things like that. You know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So many void critters.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a lot of fighting for sure.
Yeah.
But you know,
it's gonna be fun. Fine, don't go to Shurima. Damn, John.
I won't.
Fuck Shurima. The MMO comes out, whatever that is. Well, anyway, that was Shurima. We did like it, despite John ending it by saying "fuck Shurima."
Our region episodes end that way a lot lately.
No, they do, huh?
We sum it up with, I think this region should be destroyed, or just broadly, fuck it.
That's true. That was, what did we say that about? What region was it that we were like, how do we improve this? We're like, just get rid of it.
I mean, I don't think it's any coincidence that Targon and Shurima are so intrinsically linked. Who knows? Maybe Shurima's improved if Targon never existed in the first place.
Honestly, probably.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you so much for listening. We have a Twitch, twitch.tv/loreheads. John streams there on Saturdays. He'll play an indie game at first and then do some TFT and ARAMs with viewers. So if you want to play with John, you can do that.
Come play with me.
Come play with me. We also have a Discord. If you want us to play, find people to chat with, play League with, make fun of us, complain about the episode, join the Discord. Or say nice things. I don't know, I always say negative things. I say play League with, that's negative too, huh? I'm just kidding. We love League. We also have a YouTube. John has some wonderful parody songs on there that are truly delightful, and you can see our beautiful faces.
We just got a fairly new one on there, so if you want to,
really
if you're familiar with the Natalie Portman rap, go listen to "I'm a Support Man."
It's pretty fantastic. We also have a Patreon. Thank you so much to all of our patrons.
But a very special thank you to our Medarda tier patron, King of Hearts. If you were in Shurima, I would get you out of Shurima. Fuck you, Shurima.
Oh my god. I thought Shurima was fun.
That's a big commitment.
I want to go there. Yeah. How are you going to get him out? Good luck, man.
Don't worry, I'll hire a bunch of people to lead me across.
Get a doorman, get some orphans.
I've got so many orphans. You got no idea. I've got $20 in my pocket. I'm set for orphans.
Oh my god. Anyway, please be sure to join us next time. We'll talk about something else. We haven't figured it out yet. An AU? Are we due?
Yeah, due for the U.